Two men. One pod. Unapologetically unfiltered.
To quote Ridley Squat.
Ridley Squat.
It's the Unfiltered Idiots Podcast with Jay and TJ.
Talking about going off a cliff, on to the next point, which is
Well, it ties
the
in nicely.
superhero, is the superhero slump started? Has superhero movies or TV gone too far? So, obviously, what got recently released was Loki. Now, have you watched any of Loki season?
I haven't seen season 2. I've seen season 1 in its entirety. I haven't watched anything in season 2 yet.
Now, I tend to find, now, don't get me wrong, me and TJ have discussed this, we like Marvel movies, or we liked Marvel movies. They seem to have, they've had a bit of a slump. Now, what's come out this year? I mean, you've got
Okay.
Thor.
In Marvel?
Marvel, yeah.
Okay.
Not this year, but, last couple of years.
Okay, so, well, should we go... should we go... Post-pandemic? Do you want to go post-pandemic?
Yes, let's go post-pandemic.
So, should we say Black Widow? Black Widow was during pandemic.
Yes, I think that's fair.
That's probably like so. Okay, so just before pandemic, Spider-Man: Far From Home, and then you've got the biggest gap in films from Marvel, which is 2 years, almost 2 years to the day. It's actually 2 years and 7 days after Spider-Man got released. Is their next film, which was Black Widow, which obviously went straight to streaming. It was Disney Plus, like pay-per-view on Disney Plus. So from that, which was 2021, July 2021, so almost just over 2 years ago, they have released 9 films, which are Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Legend of the Rings, Eternals, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Now, Black Widow I didn't mind, but it... right. I always have this problem with films like Black Widow, because
Why? Because she's already fucking dead.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no worry in that film. Do you know what I mean? Because you know that she dies somewhere else, so you've got no what's the word I'm after? There's no strife. You're not thinking like, oh, she might die, or any kind of concern about the main character.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, when do I get what you're saying? But it's almost a null and void argument anyway. Because name me a film where the main character dies. James Bond, you could say with.
Yeah.
But then James Bond isn't the actor playing James Bond isn't.
But it's the only film where James Bond actually dies.
Yeah, his wife dies.
Die in any other
No,
films.
didn't die in any. Yeah. But okay. So, but yeah, take that as the anomaly. Like the titular actor never dies. That'd be the shocker if the titular actor did die. But yeah, I know what you're saying. We know that she has a fate further on down the line. But we had this before. Prequels serve a purpose, and this is effectively a prequel, Black Widow.
Yeah. But like I said, the issue, like I enjoyed it, and I think it was trying to set itself up as a passing of the torch sort of thing, which is sort of what it does.
But for Florence Pugh.
Yeah. But Marvel have started doing this thing, and I think we've talked about it before, where it's like, okay, I was happy enough watching 2-3 films a year in order to keep in line with what's going on with the grander arc. But now that the grand arc seemed to... Well, it came to its end, didn't it, in Endgame, really?
They finished their phase, which started with... essentially started with fucking Iron Man, didn't it? It's worked all the way through. Obviously, it's a full circle. We start with Iron Man. We end with Iron Man, essentially. Yeah. Now we're going to branch off into the next phase.
The only thing that really tied it to the next universe was probably No Way Home, in my opinion.
Far From Home.
No. Oh yes, that's Far From Home does come out, doesn't it?
Far From Home is the very next film after Endgame, and the reason it ties it in so much is because obviously Iron Man is such a poignant part of Spider-Man's life. Tom Holland's Spider-Man this is, and obviously you see the way they do it, like how is the world reeling, and that's almost a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Spider-Man becoming the new Iron Man, not Iron Man, but the filling the gap that Iron Man has left, essentially, in the world of superheroes.
And dealing with the fact that like now there's not this billionaire tech genius that's going to be able to almost pay for everything, really, because he sort of paid for everything as well.
Do you know what I find really interesting? So, like, so this conversation is like the, you know, Marvel and DC. It's like the saturation, the market of superhero movies is so oversaturated that the quality like has now dropped off, or the viewing numbers. Like people are reporting that they're dropped off. People are talking about like companies not making money, blah 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 blah. But is it ultimately just the fact that you come to a conclusion, you tie a nice little ribbon around it, you finish it? This is the problem. You forget DC for a minute. We're just talking Marvel, because DC's I have a complete different opinion. On DC.
We'll talk about the fire that is DC in a moment.
So you spend X amount of years. Hang on, when did the Iron Man come out in 2008? So 2008, you go on this journey, which finishes 11 years later in 2019, right? You've gone through this epic fucking journey. So many crests, full crest, full crest, full.
Like, you got to meet so many heroes.
You've developed so many characters along the way, and everyone has got like an affinity with these characters. And you're along for this journey, and this journey culminates with Infinity War, and oh my fucking god, and then reaches its absolute climax at Endgame, and you're like, fuck. And the emotions that Endgame evokes in people. We spoke last week when we played the game, and I said about like the reason I had why Endgame wasn't in my top 5 fights, but the emotion and everything gave it an honourable mention, because I've never had so many different feelings all at once in one, like that. The whole bit, like you say, when you see Mjolnir get lifted and then get smacked Thanos in the face as he's about to kill, and you're like, oh my fucking god, like Cap is worthy. We always knew Cap was worthy, but we're now finally seeing Cap is worthy. Cap's on his last legs, and you get like Sam come through the portals open. It's like, oh my fucking god, the gut wrenching feels.
I knew it had to happen, but now I'm witnessing it.
But watching it on screen, like in the cinema, at home, wherever, doesn't fucking match it. Watching it, I still watch it now, and it gives me goosebumps. That scene, like, and the whole, and then like the Iron Man, and the end is like, I am inevitable. Well, fuck you, I am Iron Man. And it's like, oh, you're like the pain. Like watching him go, and then you've got to go through fucking like Tom Holland, Spider-Man, like no, and then Pepper Potts, like, mate, the funeral scene, everything, like it's so emotional, and you've been dragged through the ringer, especially in the last few years, but ultimately over the course of 11 years. So then just go.
Watch the story of Iron Man go from this egotistical, over fucking confident man to just becoming this hero. To becoming this hero.
Well, not only that, like the torment that he feels, that where they like the woman comes to him after the meeting and she goes, "Oh, this is my son. Like he died because of you. He was in Sokovia, like, or whatever the country was called. Like you dropped a fucking country on him, essentially. Fucking, you killed my son, and then the inner torment, it was like, well, hang on, are we doing the right thing? We're ungoverned. Where at first, when they're like, oh no, when the US government are like, no, you need to hand over the Iron Man suit. No one man should have this power. And now he's like, no, fucking, of course I should have this power. I can't give this power to you. Now it's like,
I am Iron Man.
Now it's like, fuck, should I actually have this power? He starts to question himself and doubt himself. And that leads to obviously Civil War and everything, which is fucking great. And like I say, we've been through this manic journey, and we get to this end point, and it's a perfect end point. And now we're like, let's go again. And we're just, and I just feel that people are just, myself, as like I might be speaking just for myself, but I feel like I can speak for the larger here. We're just like, okay, we need to take a break. Like, we can't just jump straight back in. And don't get me wrong, Far From Home is great. I loved Far From Home.
Yeah.
But it played on the nostalgia because you brought back Andrew Garfield. You brought back Tobey Maguire. You kind of, like, tugged on those heartstrings. So, but putting that aside, like, I feel like it's like, okay, we've done. We just need time to breathe and just
we need to
evaluate.
feel again.
Because ultimately, Endgame come out in April and then July. So you've literally got a matter of a few months before, like, we're going again. We're going again.
Do this again. Do it again.
And then obviously the pandemic hit, which then, and I just, and obviously the pandemic gave you that break. But I just feel like maybe.
But you didn't feel like there was a break in the story.
No,
you know what I mean?
No,
like,
because you went straight into Black Widow, like, and then
and then well, worst thing about Black Widow is, okay, I've watched this character die.
Yeah.
Like not in the great battle at the end, by the way. Watch this character die for the greater cause.
Yeah.
And now you're going to make me watch her again in a story that just feels like an interim and a torch pass.
Yeah.
But it's not going to have the impact now because, well, I'd sort of mourned this character. I've mourned this character. I don't want to see this thing, you know. And
then ultimately you come in, like, you go with Shang-Chi, whatever, but then you come in with the Eternals and you're like, hold on a fucking minute.
What were you lot fucking doing?
Where were you fuckers? Oh, do you know what? I've completely fucked myself up here because I said in Far From Home you brought in Tobey Maguire. That was No Way Home. I've fingered the two films.
I was going to call you over, and he's too far in a rant.
Forget that. Anyway, like with Eternals, just like, hang on a minute, you're the fucking Eternals. What the fuck were you doing during the last 11 years?
Superman. Where's fucking Superman to take the gauntlet and fucking do the click?
Like, what the fuck? Oh, we can't get involved. Fuck off, you can't get involved.
The
Fuck off
was
this
ending,
bullshit.
Dickhead.
Like, you've got this fucking, like, mad titan going around destroying planet after planet. Oh, it's for the greater good. Like, do you not think you might just rock up and say, yeah, hold on a minute. We might want to chat here. We might just need to have a little conversation.
We've got basically the Justice League here, but they don't want to get part of it.
They're just they're too busy fucking, you know, doing whatever they're fucking doing. You know,
living life.
Yeah, well, I feel the quality of the films like has gone off a cliff. They've tried to bring in obviously new characters, the Eternals, Shang-Chi. I actually really enjoyed Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I enjoyed Shang-Chi.
Until it got to the end, and then the CGI with the dragon was just some of the worst shit I've seen. It was bordering on the Flash levels of poor fucking CGI. But I also think they've just had so many missteps. Thor: Love and Thunder. What the fuck are you doing with that? Thor is now a fucking clown. In my opinion, like you've made him look like an absolute buffoon.
That's it, exactly. The best part about Thor: Love and Thunder was actually
Christian Bale.
Gore
the God Butcher. It was fucking brilliant.
Yes.
Dark, and mysterious, dangerous. You actually felt him
killing
like
gods,
powerful,
killing gods
as a bad guy. Like you were like fucking hell. This is actually what and.
Thor might be fucked, is what you thought.
And then you're like, I don't know. You now turned him into fucking super stepdad.
Yeah, and that's it. And it's a bit gauche. It's a bit weird.
And then something they couldn't, thingy. Obviously, the passing of Chadwick Boseman, who I don't care how you want to think it, you're never replacing Chadwick Boseman. No. He is Black Panther. He will always be Black Panther. Yeah. I get you can't get rid of the character, but I just feel like there's no real, because we haven't had closure with Chadwick Boseman, it's really difficult to get behind Shuri as the new Black Panther.
See, the problem is that because they've had to, to be fair, they didn't.
Their hand is forced. Yeah, and it's not their fault.
No,
they've done the best that they could with the hand that they were dealt. It's just unfortunate.
Film was bad.
I didn't like the way they went with it. I didn't like Nimrod or whatever the fuck his name was.
And he's meant to be the first mutant that they're bringing in as well.
Mm.
And like considering don't forget this is after they bought Fox, which means they had the X-Men back. So my question is,
where's Wolverine?
Why haven't they just done the correct thing? In my opinion, if you're going to start a whole new thing, then kick it off with the X-Men. Kick it off with the X-Men. Make the X-Men your priority
Oh,
because everyone, it's instant recognition.
they're saving that, mate. That's coming out with Deadpool 3. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but that's the problem, though, isn't it?
Mm.
Because if you're gonna try and give me Shang-Chi, which is an unknown, really, to most people, right? Shang-Chi's an unknown. So yes, all right, you send up a new hero and stuff, and that's great. But you open the door with Iron Man. It wasn't a big hero, but he was a known hero.
Mm.
Then you had Captain America. Then you had Thor. You know, so you started building your Avengers. Whereas now you had the opportunity to sort of go, well, if we just sort of steer away from this universe for a bit, let that be going on. But we'll give you this other story where we're bringing in the X-Men and we're going to introduce these, you know, like a Wolverine story.
Yeah.
You know, start with the X-Men with no Wolverine, and then next film's Wolverine, and then the film after that is the X-Men with Wolverine. And, you know, you start building this new group, this alternate Avengers. They're not the Avengers, they're obviously the X-Men.
Yeah.
But you start building that story, then bring in some of the old Avengers and start giving their tales. Because you don't really need a Thor 4, do you really? Not really.
No.
So,
You're just milking it at this stage.
yeah, exactly. So if you'd have just brought Thor in and said, look, here's the money truck, fucking Hemsworth. Will you throw the hammer again? You just go, yeah, of course. It's not going to be your film, but you're going to be thrown into a film now where you don't know who the X-Men are, and maybe you're going to fight one of the X-Men and inside. You've done this in the Avengers. You know, lightning doesn't always strike twice in the same place, but everyone knows you. Everyone doesn't really know the X-Men at this point. So you've got a bit of a clash where, you know, you're doing all that.
Do you know what the interesting thing is? Obviously, I'm just looking through the list here, and obviously, you never so everything's geared towards an overarching bad guy. Yeah.
Yes.
So obviously, you know, each each of them had their individual films, like you say, Iron Man, Hulk. Hulk. It was Edward Norton's Hulk, so we won't include that. Yeah. Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. Then you bring in the Avengers, and and then you get your first glimpses of like Thanos. Like Thanos isn't by any means the bad guy. Like in that, it's Loki, but you kind of like you realize that
you get an image of the puppet master.
Yeah. That he is the one, and then obviously it moves on to fucking Ultron, you know, being the mainstay, but ultimately they're always leading towards, from the first Avengers film, they're always leading towards Thanos.
Yeah, all paths lead to Thanos at this point.
And they've kind of tried, like, I feel that they've gone, like they've opened up the multiverse with Doctor Strange, and the multiverse theory and everything all like that. And you touched on it, like say Shang-Chi, the Eternals, you know, and then you throw in there Quantum Mania, and you're like, you start introducing, and with Loki, the TV series as well, like you introduce Kang, and you're like,
who's going to be your big
he's
fan.
our next one.
Don't worry.
But it was done in such a like. I also think the problem is, like, with the oversaturated, you now have 7 fucking TV shows going on. Like, you've got WandaVision, you've got the fucking, I was about to call it Arrow, but it's not. It's fucking Hawkeye. And you've got Loki, and you've got like fucking everything else. You've got Ms. Marvel and that. Like, there's too much fucking content.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if you don't watch Loki, like, you kind of misrepresent who Kang is. When you first see him in Quantum Mania, you kind of need to watch Loki. So if you haven't done that, you're almost banking on, with the films, you're kind of just like, okay, 3 films a year, people are going to watch it. The minute you start throwing fucking, we've got all this extra fucking content. And also, when you throw in shit like that What If series as well.
Yeah.
It's like, just confuse the shit out of everyone, why don't you? Because we're just going to go, well, what if this fucking happened? Like, well, I don't really give a shit what happened now, but now you've put something else in my head. Like, 8 episodes of that fucking crap. I've never watched it, but my friends told me about it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to go down
ultimately, all just to answer the question in, it's not WandaVision. Oh, no, Multiverse of Madness, where Wanda's gone on a bit of a fucking mad turn, and you can go, oh look, What if Agent Carter was actually
Yeah.
looking
Captain
Britain?
Britain, wasn't it,
Yeah.
and all the others. But and I just feel it's now. This is the problem. Oversaturation leads to if you're there's too much of something. Like sometimes you just need to step back. Like quantity isn't always quality,
No.
and this is what they've lost. I think they're like money. We can make so much with this. We can pump this out here. We can do this. We can do this. And no one's took the step back and said, well, do we need to do this?
It's also it's not only that, it's my time, your time,
Yeah.
everyone's time. Like you're asking me to watch 6 episodes, a movie that ties into the 6 episodes, another 6 episodes that ties into another movie, but also slightly touches on this. And then I've got to watch Miss Marvel
It's
to
too
understand the
much.
Marvels. And I'm like, well, hold on, guys. I'm getting my own wires crossed here. Now you're going to start doing second seasons of things, which is why we're talking about Loki. And that's going to give me more Kang that I've seen in Loki 1 and was the bad guy.
And once again, this can't be helped. But the Jonathan Majors external situation that's happening with him is kind of fucked them over a little bit, potentially. But once again, that's another external. It just seems that as we're heading into this phase, there are roadblock after roadblock, not of their own doing, i.e. Chadwick Boseman, Jonathan Majors, that unfortunately have been thrust upon them, but also the quality of the content. I mean, I've never been a massive Ant-Man fan. Quantum Mania I found just dull, boring. I went on this thing of watching Thor, watch Black Panther, watch Ant-Man, and I said to you, didn't I? I was like, I'm kind of done with Marvel. Marvel's kind of like, I don't find it entertaining anymore. I mean, I got Godfather. They pulled me back in with Guardians, but Guardians is always going to, Guardians standalone is fantastic. I love the Guardians.
And Guardians always sort of set itself.
Guardians is
adjacent,
they're
but
off.
not in
They're
it.
off. They're off in this universe doing this whatever on this planet and this whatever, and they are so brilliant as a group, as a collective. That it just works so well, and that's what works with the original Avengers, because the group, they had a bit of everything for everyone. And I just feel that the new people, like I say, they're bringing in, they're struggling to find a foothold. You've got to replace people, and I think this is where you're going to find. Obviously, they didn't Falcon and Winter Soldier, and you've now got Sam as Captain America, and I know it follows the comics and everything, but for the large majority of people who watch the Marvel films aren't comic book fans and have never read the comics.
That's why they did so well.
The comic books
like,
is a niche. The comic book is a niche audience of people watch it. So the main, the larger number is of non-comic book readers. They might read some comic books now, but they didn't when they first come out. And you're like, you've got to replace these characters, and the people you're replacing with are second rate, essentially. Falcon is Falcon. He's not Captain America. People are going to struggle with that, Like Shang-Chi.
He's interim.
He's interesting,
really.
but where does he fit in as an Avenger? Essentially, if that's what he's going to become. Like Thor's off doing his daddy duty. You're just like Shuri as Black Panther. You're like, I don't know if I can get behind her as Black Panther, because my Black Panther is Chadwick
the original
Boseman.
Avengers just die off, really, and then
we've got the new Iron Man. It's Ironheart, right? That's
Ironheart,
her. That's her name. Yeah. So she's the new Iron Man. Are people gonna get No, Tony Stark is my Iron Man. He's been my Iron Man for 11 years. Through thick and thin, through 6 or 7 films, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is my Iron Man, not whoever. And it's not this girl's fault who's going to take the role. Ironheart is essentially a different character. She is in the comic books. But like I say, you're not pandering to a comic book crowd anymore. You've got a much larger audience that you've got to cater for. And essentially, maybe you should have just gone a completely different route. And maybe what you should have done, like you say, is gone, Let's do the X-Men. Let's do a few years of X-Men movies, completely standalone, away from the thing, and then we can tread back onto, can we bring in, because like I say, you've come to a climactic point. You've had the funeral of Iron Man. You've kind of, okay, cool. Spider-Man can do his own thing with Venom and whatnot because it's owned by Sony. It's something completely different, and people kind of understand that. You know,
You
and
can
with
still throw a character in if you want to bring some numbers up or
100%,
something.
100%. But like now that we've had all this, you've gone, okay, we've gone for 11 years, and now you're like, oh, by the way, this isn't the only universe. We've got multiple universes. Doctor Strange has just fucked up the multiverse. They're all open. There's time splitting everywhere. It's fucking all over the place. It's just too much fucking information. And it's just like you should have just, like you say, left alone. Stepped away for a number of years, done something different. You can still make Marvel movies, but without the Avengers. Not trying to let's straight away ram some more shit down your throat with some new people. Let's go X-Men. X-Men's such a fucking massive thing. Like reboot
and you can
the
start
X-Men.
it small and then just gradually build the amount of X-Men
you can
that there are.
you can do. We'll start with Wolverine. We'll have a Wolverine movie. Like, who are your favourite fucking X-Men? You could do 2 or 3 different.
Cyclops.
You could retell the Avengers story that you told, but with X-Men. So you can do like your standalone Wolverine, do standalone Cyclops, standalone like your fucking Jean Grey Phoenix. Although the film they did was kind of shit. Like Magneto, like Charles Xavier film, and then you come together and you've made gold once. You've got the recipe there.
Yeah.
Follow that again. Also,
you can still have Kang as your bad guy.
Yeah.
Right, because you can still put your end scene in. What they did brilliantly with the original is Thanos was never really already picked as the actor. They just knew what Thanos fucking looked like.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to show Jonathan Majors or whoever's going to play Kang,
you just have him there in the background as like
just have a silhouette,
a shadowy figure,
a guy in a chair, whatever it's got to be.
Yeah. What is more like disturbing than not knowing, like just having that shadowy figure that's looming large in the background,
allowing the internet to speculate and speculate and speculate, and then they hunger for it. They hunger
grows,
for the
doesn't it?
Piece.
The wanting that grows.
What am I going to know? What am I going to know at the end of this film? What are they going to give me? Is there going to be another piece to the puzzle? Am I going to start to see the bigger picture? Grow the intrigue. Don't just go, it's this.
Well, 100%, isn't it? Like, why did we sit and wait 10 minutes after the film's finished to watch 2 30-second clips? Because we were like, oh, what are they going to tell us? What's coming up? That's gone.
I'm a hunger. Yeah, exactly. Because I know it's Kang. I know he's coming. I know that he's got the multiverse. There's fucking 7 billion of him or something.
And ultimately, what this now means is that they can just regurgitate this shit over and over and over and over. But, I mean, we got Deadpool to look forward to, so.
Yeah. I'm hoping Deadpool's going to be
Deadpool's going to bring in
multiverse.
I'm hoping Deadpool's going to bring in some X-Men. I think he will.
Yeah.
Well, he is, because we know Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant? Fucking hell, it's not Hugh Grant.
Hey,
it's
a pandemic. My fucking horrible voice thing's coming to everybody.
Oh, Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool. Come on, put some
Wagyu Deadpool. It's like fucking Deadpool looks like a bit of Wagyu. Fucking hell, he's got some marbling, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got some marbling, definitely.
But in saying this, right, this is our opinion. And we're obviously, I know we're like saying, like we speak for a larger audience. We don't. We speak for ourselves, but we did run through the numbers, and the numbers are actually still pretty fucking solid in the production budget to worldwide. So I've got in here from we'll just quickly run through these from Endgame.
Yeah,
obviously, Far From Home, the next film,
mega money.
Well, we went through. Okay, so the only a few films have topped the bill, the billion mark, which leading up to, they went on a spate of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 6 films in a row all did over a bill. There's only one that didn't. But before that point, they'd only had 4 films. Leading up to 2018, they'd only had 4 films from 2008 to 2018 that had reached $1 billion. And that was the first Avengers film, Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron, and Civil War. The only ones that hit the $1 billion mark. Then they struck.
Iron Man 3 did. A lot of people hated Iron Man.
Well, it comes straight after the back of the first Avengers film.
Yeah,
so because the drop off for Thor: Dark World was Iron Man 3 1.2 billion, Thor: Dark World 640
Dark World is
it's a shit film. It's a shit film. But so Black Panther, and this is not surprising, Black Panther, like the first black superhero icon essentially in the franchise. Yes, I know we had like Sam, Falcon, but this is like a lead character, Black Panther, massive, meant so much, at the time. Obviously,
it was already teased as well in
a Civil War.
Civil War.
He was in
It's
Civil War,
always-
something. Yeah. So yeah, Black Panther production budget 200 million, worldwide box office 1.3 billion, followed by Avengers: Infinity War 300 million production budget, 2 billion. Then the drop off, Ant-Man 130 million production, 620 million.
It's still good numbers making.
Double.
Though,
Well,
really.
yeah, it's done. It's done really, really well. Then you've got Captain Marvel comes in, obviously first female Avenger. No, is that what they classed? Is that what it was? It Captain the first. It was the first. The first.
Standalone, sort of like on her own, female, wasn't it? Because
Well, no, what I'm saying is like her.
no,
I'm
Black
not.
Widow hadn't had a movie, had she?
No,
So
no, no,
it'd
no.
just
What I
be-
mean is, obviously, Captain America was the first Avenger. Was she, because of the time she technically got her powers and everything, would she be the first superhero? I'm trying to think chronologically in time, because her film is like
She's
chronologically.
90s.
No, her film chronologically is.
It's in the 90s because they talk about Morax.
Yeah. So.
Morax was 93.
But anyway, we're digressing. Like Captain Marvel, 175 million production budget, 1.1 billion. Avengers Endgame, 400 million production budget, 2.7 billion, nearly 3 billion. Then obviously Far From Home, 160 million production budget, 1.1 billion box office, worldwide box offices. And then obviously you've got, now you got to understand, Black Widow is pandemic, height of the or pandemic. It didn't get released to cinemas. It went straight to streaming pay-per-view on Disney. 200 million to 379 million return. Shang-Chi was 150 million, returned 432 million. Eternals was 200 million production, returned 400 million. Then you get No Way Home, hit just under 2 billion from a 200 million production budget.
Just outside of pandemic, though, wasn't it?
That
When the
was
cinemas had just
2021, December 2021.
Ooh, no, okay, fair enough.
And then Doctor Strange, 200 million, nearly a billion, 952 return million. Thor: Love and Thunder, 250 million, but then returned 760. Black Panther was 250 million, 853 million return. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, 200 million, and Ant-Man's have done pretty poorly. This is average for an Ant-Man, 463 million return, and then back up with Guardians of the Galaxy, 250 million production budget, 845 million return. So they're actually, apart from a couple of standalones, Eternals, which no one really knew what the Eternals was. The Eternals was like a weird ensemble. Shang-Chi, completely new. Like, don't know who Shang-Chi is, don't know like this, so you can understand that. Black Widow was on Disney, so it was never going to make the kind of returns. And Ant-Man, they're the four, that didn't hit over 500 million. And Ant-Man historically has not done well. So the first Ant-Man film done 500 million, Ant-Man and the Wasp did 600 million, and then the third one did 460. So they've never done the gangbuster numbers, but everything else, you're looking at your 700, 800, 900 millions, of the recent films. So to say that they're not getting the numbers, like I say,
this thing drop off, but I think the pandemic is not helped.
But there's not a drop off. This is what I'm saying. There isn't a drop off because other than when you hit the gravy train, which is from Black Panther, which is when you start hitting your billions. But let's put that into context. You've got Black Panther, it's the first black superhero icon, amazing, like the time when it came out and everything as well, like Wakanda Forever, Then you've got Infinity War, was always going to be fucking huge. You've got Captain Marvel, like female, empowerment movement going on at the same time. So that was always going to be massive. Endgame, ridiculous to think that it wasn't going to be fucking huge.
Everything's going to be
Far
massive.
From Home was the first film after Endgame. How are they going to deal with the fact that like Iron Man is no more? So it kind of makes, and then you obviously hit the pandemic. So take those films out because those films each have a reason why they're going to be fucking massive. Like their numbers are all around. Thor Ragnarok, 850 million return. Homecoming, 878 million. Guardians 2, 870 million. Doctor Strange original one was 700 million. The first Guardian 770, the first Winter Soldier 700 million, Thor Dark World 6. So they're actually hitting the same. They average between 6 to 800 million. Other than that spate where they hit fucking gold, because you're coming to the the climax of
Yeah.
the phase, essentially. So as much as we're saying like, oh, it's oversaturated and everything, they're still doing massive numbers, you know. And even if you turn around and say, well, Ant-Man didn't do great, none of the Ant-Mans have done anywhere near the numbers the others have. So you kind of like, you've
They
got
also
to
had a
take
lower
that
budget
into.
in respect as well.
Well,
They
it's a
also
little
had,
200 million on the newest Ant-Man.
I suppose they expected more because of the Kang sort of tie-in.
Yeah, possibly. It's more. I think it's more like I'd be interested to see the numbers on the TV stuff, but you're never going to get true numbers from the streaming
No,
services. They never
not
give it to
really.
you. But so I think there's a drop off in quality, but maybe not so much a drop off that we think that there is.
I think there's a lot of people who still believe that we can get a really good, what's it called movie, a really good Marvel movie, and everyone's hoping that, oh, is it going to be this one? Oh, is it going to be this one? Oh, is it going to be this one?
Well, let's look at the slate for the next few here.
You got the
Up until
Marvel.
2025, okay, when they start then naming unnamed Marvel movie, okay. So you've got November, so almost a month. We're getting the Marvels.
Yeah, which I'll probably go and see.
Then you've got next year in July, you've got Captain America: Brave New World, which will be interesting. First out in as Sam as Cap, essentially.
Yeah.
Then you've got Thunderbolts. How many people know about the Thunderbolts? How many people are
Thunderbolts,
interested?
they're the sort of bad guys, aren't
It's
they?
going to be it's going to be an interest. It could hit Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of like you could be like, whoa, but then look how shit Suicide Squad done with DC.
Yeah.
But then again, DC is a whole different ballgame. And then one that I'm really looking forward to, February 2025, Blade. Oh, I love Blade. I think Blade's brilliant, like a brilliant character. I love Blade.
One of the most original fucking Marvel interims.
And then the redo of Fantastic Four, which once again, like you worry for Fantastic Four just because, like, well, what happened to all the other Fantastic Fours? They've been shit. They've all flopped. So it's an interesting take to do that. The Marvels will be an interesting one. Because obviously with the TV show, I don't know how well Miss Marvel done. I'm currently going through it with my daughter, trying to get my daughter into superhero stuff, and she's I do like the idea behind her and that, but I don't know how it's going to work. Like with Carol Danvers, her and I can't remember the other girl.
I know what you mean. I can't
But
remember.
And then like Captain America,
Marvel,
I worry for Brave New World because like I said earlier, I don't know how well like Sam is going to be received as the new Cap. How like Anthony Mackie's going to be. Anthony Mackie's a great character.
Yeah.
But is he the leading man? We had this conversation before. Like, is he really like the top leading man? Like, he done well in Twisted Metal, but is he strong enough to carry Captain America in a standalone movie? It will be interesting.
Couldn't carry Altered Carbon. I know that season 2 of Altered Carbon.
No. So it's risky moves by Marvel, and like I say, the Thunderbolts. We could be looking at the next Guardians in terms of like massive, or it could be like an Ant-Man kind of chat, like where we're like, not really that great.
Because again, it's a lot of the not villains, but almost villains, almost the anti-heroes. So you've got Agent United Agent, US Agent.
US Agent is obviously the guy who was in Kurt Russell's son, and Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, who's going to be the new Captain America in the TV show.
Yeah.
You've got.
Well, he was the new Captain America, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Essentially, and then he was like just become a bit fucking mental.
Florence Pugh.
Super serum is not for everyone.
No, it's not. Especially when it's not the original.
No. Tainted bullshit.
Yes. Florence Pugh was also.
I can never remember what her character name is.
No, I can't remember. Essentially, she's going to be the new Black. Essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is in the Thunderbolts.
You're asking me. That's a stupid question, mate.
I can't remember who else is in it.
It's fucking rich when you need him. The Thunderbolts are dun dun dun. Oh, Zemo. Barrett Hedlund Zemo.
Yes. Zemo the dancer.
So the Thunderbolts was renamed Dark Avengers. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Dark Avengers of thing.
Oh, I didn't realise they were Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts
Yeah.
became the Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
Okay, Thunderbolt series announced team led by the Winter Soldier, Contessa Valentine Allegra de Forta. She's the woman. Hang on, isn't she the woman who?
I'm not sure. So.
Isn't Contessa Valentine? Isn't she played by the woman that like she's the one who gave US Agent?
Yes. Yes. She's the
She's
one who
played.
came to him at the end.
Yeah, so she's an older lady, obviously. She's obviously going to be like maybe the Amanda Waller of the group, maybe I don't know.
So yeah.
Black Widow. Well, she's dead. I think it'll be her. So it's going to be
Well, the new
like Florence Pugh,
yeah,
Sharon
new Black
Carter,
Widow.
which is what? Is she
Oh,
Thingy's daughter?
Agent something.
Oh,
Agent.
she's hang on, Sharon Carter. Isn't she the one who's gone rogue?
Yes.
She was Agent 99, or not Agent 99, but you know what I mean,
Agent something number.
Yeah,
and then
and they
is
go
it-
to her in. They go to her in
Is it Falcon?
Falcon and Winter Soldier, don't they?
Yeah.
And then you realise she's like a like she's selling secrets to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
okay. Because
She
she's
got
the
her
daughter. She's the
blacklisted.
granddaughter of
Agent Carter.
Agent Carter, isn't she? Yeah. White Widow. There you go. That's who
Yeah.
Thingy's going to be. The White Widow. Red Guardian. Oh no, it means we get more like Russian Harbour.
Yeah, Russian. What's his name? Russian Harper.
Shang-Chi and US Agent. Oh, that's
Shang-Chi's in that.
yeah, that's what you've got here. Motley Crue. This is
I'm
in July 23. The Thunderbolt series was announced. Team lined up by Winter. Yeah. Interesting. Hang on, it says including Black Widow. So hold on. In 2023, in July 2023, a new Thunderbolt series was announced. Oh, right. Okay, no, this is comic book. Sorry, they're releasing a new comic book series with those in it. Right, gotcha.
But it makes sense for him to do that and still keep the characters that they can.
So it's the future's interesting for Marvel. I myself personally, I just feel that there's a lack of quality at the moment. It's not as engaging or as engrossing. Maybe it's because I'm all superheroed out, like I said. But it does seem like there is still a clamour if you look at the worldwide box office.
Now we've got to talk about the other superheroes. Other superheroes.
I think
keep this.
No, I was going to say, I think this is like so easy to see what the issue is here.
Yes, we've talked about it many times.
Like, yeah.
Many times. And it's not Zack Snyder, although he can get in the bin if he doesn't do a fucking good
Wow,
job of
hang on.
writing.
Can I just say, I've actually just got totals actually down the bottom of averages and totals for Marvel quickly, just before we move on. So 44 movies. Does that include? They may have included, even though they haven't. Well, I don't know if 44 is correct because it looks like it might be two.
Like a fucking lot.
Well, they might have included the ones that are yet to come out, but they just haven't included the titles for them because there's about 7 or 8 up there. Maybe 10 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, that would make it 33, which is more correct, I would say. Anyway, so out of all the movies that have been released so far, right, the average production budget is 200,890,000.
That is not as high as you would think it is.
Well, don't forget they didn't really hit many. They didn't start hitting the regular 200s until Civil War came out. Only 2 films before Civil War hit the 200 million budget. The rest of them are all like 130s, 140s, 150s.
I think so they'd spend more money.
200 million budget. Obviously, Endgame was 400 million, the most expensive so far, and Infinity War was 300. But you understand why. So Avengers averages 200 million. Production budget, average box office of all the films so far, 923 million. In total, 6.5 billion production budget for all films so far. Returns 29 billion.
Jesus, that's a good return.
29.5 billion.
I'm totally rich.
ain't done bad, is that old fucking Feige? He ain't done bad, is he? Fucking bastard.
The mouse is laughing as he dives into his Scrooge McDuckian style fucking.
But what's really fucking interesting is when you get into the DC. Now, this does not include. This is the DCEU. This doesn't include standalone Batman films. The Keaton Batmans, R. Pat's Batman doesn't include them. It's Man of Steel up to Aquaman 2. So, like, it does include Shazam, Birds of Prey, because they're technically classed in the same universe. Batman has its and the other Superman.
Matt Reeves Batman.
They're but like the Joker. It doesn't include obviously
No.
Joker because that's like they're standalone. They're in a different universe. We all know this. So yeah, and obviously yes, like I say, started with Man of Steel. Goes up to December this year when Aquaman comes out. 15 films on the slate. I'll just tell you this quickly before we get into it about it, just to go over the averages. The average production budget is 178 million. The worldwide box office return average 480 million.
Oof.
Not good. And the total 2.6 billion spent on production budget, returns 6.7 billion.
Oof. I mean,
they've not even
3x
their return.
No, that is disappointing. I imagine
they've only just over 2x'd it. They're probably 2.5x on their investment. No wonder they're like fucking pulling their hair out and we ain't got a clue what to fucking do. But
well, I mean, you were saying like their average is was 176 million on spend.
176. 178.
Travesty,
sorry.
Yeah, and that travesty of the fucking Flash movie spent like what 300 million, I believe.
Two. Production budget of 2. Yeah, don't forget this isn't including marketing and all that. It's obviously going to be more because you've got to throw marketing stuff. But it says a production budget of 200 million. It's what it's got on here.
I thought they had 300 million for that. Hold on. I'm gonna have to quickly.
Does that include everything though?
No. This was like just production. This was just.
I mean, we've just spent like 20 minutes talking about numbers, and you're going to shit all over it now, aren't you?
Well, I shouldn't, because I'm sure I heard it was 300 million that they on the Flash. So I think they spent a lot on reshoots. They say around two. No, they do still say
200 mil. Yeah.
I read that they'd spent.
We've already ascertained in this pod you can't read, so.
True. Well, I'm going to deny it. I could have swore I heard that they spent like 300 million because like they'd had X amount of reshoots with it.
Maybe. Well, maybe this isn't including the. Well, no, because of course that's still part of production. They definitely didn't spend any money on CGI, that's for sure.
No, they did not. Oh, God.
But yeah, so as we said earlier, like the problem with DC is like they're trying to run before they can walk. Like yes. We've just explained what made Marvel so great. Their ability to build characters before they decided to do this like giant team up event, which was the Avengers. You know, they built Iron Man, they built Captain America. They got them a following. They like built them their own platform to stand on. And essentially, what they did is they released Man of Steel, and I kind of feel a little bit sorry for Man of Steel because I feel Man of Steel was made as a standalone film, but then got dragged into the EU, because the DCEU, because Man of Steel came out in 2013, and then the very next film, it's like without any setup. Now I know you don't have to set up Batman and you don't have to set up Superman essentially, but
no, not really.
It also feels like because Wonder Woman plays such a pivotal part in Dawn of Justice that her film didn't come like for another year. Like, why couldn't you have done, like a Batman movie and got Ben Affleck as Batman before? So you do Man of Steel, you then do a Batman movie, then do a Wonder Woman movie, and then
you get Cyborg, who had his movie cancelled.
Well, this is the thing. You're introducing. Well, they come into Justice League, don't they? Just for Batman versus Superman, obviously. Yeah. You would go.
You see, I would have put a Batman versus Superman movie after a Justice League, so that you've got a.
Yeah, but they kind of, but they've buddied up by then, haven't they? Like the whole.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you had like, say you had your Man of Steel, then you had your Batman, then you threw an Aquaman film in, then you had a team up, like like early Avengers, where it's just lower numbers. And then you, at the end of the team, if you had a bit of friction between Batman and Superman, and then you did, I don't know, Wonder Woman 2, then you did this BVS sort of movie because everyone wanted a BVS movie, but I think it needed more build-up, not just brooding Batman going, he destroyed my building in Metropolis, I'm all pissed off now.
Yeah. yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah. It would have been an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
I also think like we say, quality over quantity, and like there
Yes.
definitely wasn't quality. Like,
Wasn't even quantity though, dude. That was
no,
the problem. It wasn't even quantity.
no, like no. But what I mean is, it's like, oh, let's get fucking Wonder Woman, Batman. Let's get Lex Luthor. Let's fucking go. And you're
They
like,
shouldn't have done that Lex Luthor either. That was
I
such a
just,
misstep. And I like Jesse
do
Eisenberg.
you know what? I didn't mind. I didn't mind it. It wasn't terrible. Like to me, like I have a thing with Batman anyway. I struggle to tell you if Batman's bad because I love Batman. Like it could be a shit film, and I'm still like, no, it's fucking Batman. Leave me alone, you fuckers. Like, but just the whole concept of it. Okay, he's built this fucking super suit, which you're like, okay, and he's harnessed kryptonite. He's got a shard and he's able to, and you're like, okay, cool. And he's about to kill fucking, he's about to kill like Superman, and then the whole fucking like Martha. Where'd you hear that name? Well, it's my mum's name. Oh, it's my mum's name too. We could be brothers. Like it's like it was. You're sitting there watching the game. Fuck off! You're just about to kill him, and to see his mum's name's Martha, you're like, oh, cool. My name's Martha too. What else do we share? Like certainly not values.
I want to save the world.
Like certainly not values and ideals, because you were fucking the furthest point away from values and ideals. You know, I did like that they made Batman an aggressive asshole in the fact that he'd brand people. I thought that was wicked. I loved that. It's like, yeah, Batman, you fucking be an asshole for once. Love it. But ultimately, the film was lackluster. And then you go into the Suicide Squad, and that was fucking bullshit, you know. And you're just like that, like the whole. I just like it's poor decision making. I'm with the DCUU. It's poor decision making, trying to walk before they can run. They're like, we do the Batman kind of team up movie. Then we're going to do the Suicide Squad team up movie. Well, where's your building of any of these? Like, why should we root? Why do I care? What about any of these fucking characters? Like Harley Quinn is probably the only one you could turn around and say, I actually care about Harley Quinn because we know who Harley Quinn is, and like, you know, Harley Quinn is that fun. But Captain Boomerang, well, he's fucking wank. Like that was absolute fucking horse shit. Let's be honest. The geezer that fucking, I can't even remember the fucking geezer that decided to have his head blown off because he's gonna fucking zip line up a wall. Oh, he was fucking useless. What the fuck's his name? Captain Numbnuts. Like, you know, he's just like fucking flame
Diablo, isn't it? Diablo?
No, Diablo's the fucking geezer who sets himself on fire. I mean, you know the geezer, the Mexican geezer who's like, Captain Boomerang's I don't think we've got a bomb in our head, mate. He's like, never do I just fucking, and it's like, okay, I'll blow your fucking head off. And Captain Boomerang's like, maybe I ain't gonna do that. But like, and like the Flamo geezer, this is like, yeah, you don't want to see me, mate. You don't want to see who I am. And then he turns into fucking the Rastafarian fucking like flame geezer at the end. Who's fucking dreadlocks. He's like, and it's like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And ultimately, then he just like someone just goes and puts him out.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, just suck all the oxygen out of him. He's done. You know, I
don't think Will Smith was a good Deadshot though either.
No, once again, like you know what we were talking about like we've said this about putting people in a role just because they assume that the name value is going to sell. That's what they did with Will Smith, and Will Smith's a shit.
He was a better fucking Hancock than he was a fucking Deadshot.
Like I say, Margot Robbie, yep. 100%, she's quality. The whole scene where she was like having voices in her head, you know, and she's getting changed in front of him and everything. Like that are the brilliant scenes.
Margot Robbie's a fucking quality actress.
But just the rest of it, I don't mind Rick Flag. I can never remember the geezer's name.
Joel.
Yeah, Kinnaman, something like that. Yeah, I quite liked him as Rick Flag. But once again, like you've got no reason to root for any of these characters. You like, it's what I say.
Not that you should, because they're villains.
But ultimately, the goal is to get you to root for them, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like it, and I just feel that they're trying to run before they can walk, and they're like, no, we need to catch up with Marvel as quickly as possible because we want to be getting some of their billion dollar franchises.
I mean, like Christ, you could have banged out 3 fucking Superman movies and made realistically.
Yeah.
Realistically. 1 Batman movie would have probably made close to a.
So
if you'd have done it same Batman, you could have done the same Batman, you could have done him doing the whole brand nonsense, which I was not keen on, but we won't get into that. but that's because I don't like my Batman to do that. But that's me. But you did all this great thing where he's got all these cool tech things, but you didn't build me this character. You just went, here's Batman, got loads of money, builds mechs, and I'm going, oh, has he taken out any named villains? Do I care that he's hard, or are you just going to go, oh, he's a billionaire, he's got loads of buildings, and he's Batman, and people have occasionally heard about the Bat from Gotham.
Do you think they just went, well, everyone knows who Batman is, so we don't need to do anything?
I suspect they did, but then they still did the origin story in there,
which
briefly.
bugs the fuck out of me because like how many you can't read that's why I liked Spider-Man. We didn't get a fucking origin story with Spider-Man with Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's just like you got bit by a spider. Cool, we all know this. You're like Bruce Wayne, yeah, parents dead. Cool, moving on. But the interesting thing is like you think they'd have learnt their lesson. Although Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice did make 872 at the box office. Suicide Squad.
But that simply came off the back of it was Batman and Superman fighting
well,
each other.
Suicide Squad 745, and then Wonder Woman 817 million. Okay, so they actually didn't start bad. It started
but I think
quite
everyone
well.
Everyone was in that superhero. I need more superhero from a superhero.
But it dropped off quite dramatically to 650 for the first Justice League.
And that's shocking because that's a team up.
But once again, no groundwork built. Here's the Flash. Here's fucking like Ray Fisher, Cyborg.
Yeah. The only thing you've ever seen the Flash in before is in BVS when he just pops his head through a window in.
And ultimately, people like people are like, well, he runs like a fucking weirdo. Yeah. Like Grant Gustin is my Flash. Like Jay's doing some running. Grant Gustin is a lot of people's Flash by this point. Yeah. There was a clamour for him.
And
he didn't get it. Yeah, 100%. And like I say, and Aquaman as well. Like Aquaman coming out of it, as I'm going to tell you in a minute, like was obviously the only high point because Aquaman was the very next film to release, and it's the only DCEU movie that hit over $1 billion. 160 million budget, 1.1 billion on release.
Because everyone wanted
major
to see
numbers.
A dripping wet
half-naked Jason
Momoa.
Fuck's sake. And then, mate, it just dropped off a fucking cliff.
Yeah, because
absolute fucking cliff.
Everyone's done with it then.
Everyone's nothing.
Okay.
Well, nothing after Aquaman hit over 400 million. Nothing.
That is bad.
So realistically, that total of 6.7 billion. If you took out the first 5 films in the franchise, which done 870, 740, 817, 650, and 1.1 billion, fuck me, they ain't made fuck all money.
No, they made fucking nothing.
Because, here you go, so, like, Shazam and Birds of Prey, low budgets, sub 100 million, they made 300 and 200 respectively.
So not a bad return for you, sub 100, really.
Terrible fucking films.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, 200 budget, 160 return. Suicide Squad, 185 budget, 160 return. Black Adam, I solely believe this is because they fucking told you all Superman was coming back. 200 million budget, 390 return. Shazam 2, 125, only just made it back at 132. The Flash only just made 200 million production, only just made 267. And
just to enter in with the Flash, apparently they reckon with the marketing, 400 million.
Lost.
400 million.
Blue Beetle, 120, 128 return. Now, any of those that are close, like we're saying, this is just production budget. This does not include marketing and other bits and pieces. They all lost money.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman lost
big money
epic amounts of money. Suicide Squad, epic amounts of money. Black Adam, probably they made not a massive amount. Like Shazam, they lost money, even though the box office is higher than the production. That doesn't include everything, so they lost money. Like, and obviously this is just they are still going to have DVD sales and everything and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
it's box office that matters, really. It is box office.
What's really interesting, I want to actually get on here. Can I search a particular movie?
Can see internet.
Yeah, I want the numbers for the Batman.
And the Batman did well, if I remember correctly.
So the Batman production budget 200 million, worldwide box office 370.
Mm.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, three. What have I got here? Oh, hang on, no. Why is that? Okay, that's got a really weird, convoluted system that it's got there. 370 million.
Which is almost doubling its money, but I think they probably had quite a fair bit of marketing for the Batman as well. But it's getting a sequel,
No, that
so it
can't.
made enough.
Hang on, no, that can't be right. Because
I
it's
thought
saying
made more than
it's saying worldwide box office 3.8 times production. Oh no, sorry, that's America. Hang on. Oh, all-time worldwide box office. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
765 million.
There we go. That sounds more realistic.
Sorry, that was my bad. I was reading that wrong. So worldwide, 765 million. It turned back the Batman. So far exceeded. Like it puts it up there in
and
the
that's
same
after pandemic as well.
yeah. Obviously, standalone Batman. R-Pats. A lot of people didn't want R-Pats as Batman,
Nope.
but obviously, So DC has. It's an interesting pathway they're going to go on with Snyder. I feel like they have great standalone IPs.
Yeah.
Obviously, Snyder's job is to bring them all together. Oh, not Snyder, sorry. Sorry, I keep saying Gunn. Gunn's job, Snyder's job was to bring it together, failed miserably. Yeah. The little bit of a thing in there with Joss Whedon as well, who absolutely fucked the series as well. But yeah, so Gunn's come in and he's got to build this universe,
and probably not with anywhere near Schneider's budget, I would imagine.
Probably not. I think it's gonna. I don't hold out.
Warner Brothers are hemorrhaging money.
I don't hold out hope that this is going to be the win that people want. I think he's going to make some great standalone films, but I don't think we're going to get a universe quite like what Marvel. I don't think it's possible to build what Marvel built.
No.
Anymore.
And not on the fucking dead bodies of fucking the Snyderverse, if I'm honest. Because you've got a lot of people in the Snyderverse camp, restore the Snyderverse, Snyderverse is the best. You should have let Zack see out his fucking image, blah blah.
And I think the world's changed as well.
It has. It's image of superhero movies, which is about sort not massively, I suppose, but enough that me and you, very big superhero fans, right? We're both going.
I did enjoy. I went to cinema with my daughter to see Blue Beetle, and I must say I did really enjoy Blue Beetle. But I enjoyed Blue Beetle not for the story, not for like Blue Beetle was a superhero thing, just for the family, the characters. I really enjoyed the family dynamic with Zolo, well Jaime, sorry, like Zolo's his real name, like Jaime and his family. But I get why it was panned. They already
did that tale with they already did that story sort of thing with Shazam though, didn't they? Where they made all the Shazam characters.
Well, yeah, but obviously they're trying to tap into the Latino market, aren't they? With Blue Beetle, and it's understandable. Marvel did it with certain bits and pieces. But yeah, I don't think it was, like I say, the story was shit. But I enjoyed it for what it was in terms of like I say, a few of the characters, like George Lopez as the uncle, especially was brilliant. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I just
and he's going to do TV series now. Peacemaker didn't do too bad. I quite liked Peacemaker.
I think you got to look at
and Peacemaker seems to be the only characters who are returning to the DCEU, the new DCEU.
I think they struck gold with John Cena as Peacemaker. To be honest,
yeah,
I think they got very, very lucky with that.
But they went dark with it. They went dark with Peacemaker.
Well, so, I kind of think that, it's, let's go fucking blood and guts.
Well, he went blood and guts, but he also went comical, which is probably what James Gunn does best.
I think if you'd have gone like fucking, like real dark mass murder, fucking like Punisher kind of thing,
I mean, that's one thing that we avoided from the Marvel thing, is that Daredevil's coming back, but they're going to we kind of actors, but not do
Well, yeah,
anything
I
in the old
yeah,
universe.
no, but I 100% agree. Charlie Cox is Daredevil, like John
Yeah.
Bernthal is Punisher. If like they are still to this day the Netflix ones, which aren't technically Marvel. Like Marvel didn't really have anything to do with like Jessica Jones,
Other than
Iron Fist,
sticking
the
Marvel on
Defenders,
there.
other than saying yeah, you can use these, you can make what you like, but yeah, we're having the Marvel logo on the screen, and we'll get a pretty penny for it as well. Like they are like you can't change those characters. Even though I didn't like Iron Fist so much, I quite like the lad who played Danny Rand. Like Luke Cage, I didn't mind him. Misty Knight, I thought was a cool character. I think you could bring her back with her fucking arm, with her metal arm now.
But they bought one of the characters back, didn't they? Kingpin. They bought Kingpin back, and he's
well,
quality anyway.
Vincent Delforno
yeah,
is
that's it.
fucking brilliant. Like when you do Michael Clark Duncan, like R.I.P. dude, him as Kingpin, he was fucking a piece of horse shit. Like Vincent Delforno is brilliant, but he's a fucking top level actor, top
He
level,
really is.
underrated.
And he's scary, considering like he's a large man, but you
You
feel
won't
that,
wanna,
like
well, he is Kingpin. He is exactly how Kingpin is. Like I really enjoyed them. And like I say, if they wanted to bring back Punisher and put some other random geezer in there, I'd have been like,
I
nah,
think it'd
fuck
work.
off.
It's not gonna work.
John Bernthal is everything, you
Yeah.
know. And Charlie Cox is fantastic as well.
Yeah, absolutely nailing it as fucking Daredevil. Absolutely nailing it.
And they were
What did I say?
dark. They were really
Yeah,
dark.
they were dark.
Proper.
Now, will the new Daredevil, will they build on the fact that, like, okay, dark worked though?
They've
Dark
got to.
worked.
They've got to. If they powder puff Daredevil, I think people will complain.
Yeah. I think you're right there. I think you're right. I don't think you can.
And Disney have, like we know, R rated cells. Fucking look at Deadpool.
Yeah. But that was Fox originally.
Yeah, I know, but it's still what I'm saying is like it.
The first Disney movie is gonna be.
It's an R rated. You know, but what I'm saying is it's an R rated superhero movie,
Yeah.
and it sold fucking gangbusters. So you know, R rated movies in the superhero category work. So there's no reason why they shouldn't make Daredevil or Punisher just like they were in the as they were on Netflix.
I mean, not Daredevil. Deadpool was smart to do the almost cut version for kids. Deadpool.
What was riding a fucking unicorn on the cover?
Yeah. And he's telling it like a bedtime story or something.
Well, it's Fred Savage, isn't it? It's the Princess Bride, isn't it? It's a piss take on the Princess Bride, but you got an adult Fred fucking Savage. Like, oh, it's great.
Ryan Reynolds is just slaying it though. He's a fucking legend.
So
he just got the what's it called award for comedy. Robin Williams award for comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
he just got the Robin Williams award for comedy. He deserves it. He's quality.
Absolutely, I mean,
brilliant.
We're clocking up some time here, so do you want to wrap up with this so we can get on to the quiz? What's your final thoughts on where either or the universes are going to go and superhero movies as a whole?
Right, just briefly then. Marvel, I'd like to think Marvel are going to pull it back, but I think they're going to steadily push along. I think Gunn really gets one chance. I really think Gunn just gets one chance. And I think if he fucks, I know it's not going to be his first project, but I think if he fucks Superman legacy up, they're not going to forgive him. No one will forgive him. And I think he'll be out the door.
That's his actual directorial debut in like DC, isn't it?
He's wrote the story, he's done everything with it, so fingers crossed. But he's changed Superman. That's going to put a lot of people in. Even though the era of Superman he's doing, it makes sense to go for it.
Although he's picked the most lookalikey fucking Superman you could ever fucking pick.
Yes, 100%. Not his son.
It's like Henry Cavill's clone.
So my feeling on the DC thing is like you really bite the apple. You got to write Aquaman 2 off at this point. Is
Aquaman's 2... It's not his film.
No, it's the final film in the DCEU Snyder
pre-gun.
Yeah. So that's basically my feelings on it. I think Marvel will push along and maybe they'll strike God something. I think what you got to hope is that, like I say, they do a sort of Deadpool kills the multiverse and it brings it all back together. Because the problem with doing the multiverse is you're going too far wide and not keeping like a not strictly straight narrative, but with all these offshoots, people just get confused and they just go, I don't care enough to follow 17 stories that I hope are going to come back to one. So I think what they should learn is that Deadpool's got to do what Deadpool does best, which is kill the fucking strains of the fucking multiverse, which sounds like he's going to do, because he's going to pull all loads of old characters together and sort of just kill them off, basically. So that's what I'm hoping for. Whether that happens, I don't know. Deadpool 3 is going to be an interesting one regardless, I think. And then, like I say, I think Gunn really just gets one bite of the apple. I know he's got a big plan laid out with Peter Safran.
Saffron, yeah. Something like that.
But I think if they fuck it, and I don't think even if he does fuck it, but if it doesn't make the numbers, one, I think Warner Bros. Is on its arse. And as I said in that rumor to you today, which isn't just speculation, then maybe they get somebody else involved after that. I don't think comic book movies are going to go away, but
no, because as we said with the Marvel films, they are still actually making decent amounts of money.
Exactly. But I think his budget's going to be slashed.
Yeah.
And that, not that you need a massive budget, but to do what I think they want to do is going to need some money. You know, I mean, look what's happened with just an interim a little bit into superheroes. Look what's happened with Star Wars. Star Wars, a massive franchise, and then now they've just cut it all back.
The thing is, they got to make their money back, and Disney got to make their money back with Star Wars. Spent a lot of fucking money, so they need to regurgitate film after film after film to try and make that money back.
That's it, mate. And you know,
this is the problem with, like, this is why movies are dying, but games are like, you don't need to, like, Xbox buying Bethesda. Blizzard, and Bethesda and Activision Blizzard. Like, they don't need to, like, they can release any kind, like, they're not bound by, like, okay, we're stuck in this universe of games. They can release whatever they fucking want. Like, essentially,
you haven't got to pay massive. You haven't got to pay huge actors to pay their wages either.
Like, they're tied in. It's so interesting. Like, myself personally, I think the X-Men need to come into Marvel ASAP. I think we need something fresh. I think we're stale at the moment, and I think the X-Men bring in something fresh. I think if you get the casting right for X-Men and you go slightly darker with X-Men, I think you could nailing Wolverine is a must. Getting the right person to play Wolverine is fucking huge. You get that down, I think you can open yourself up a really nice pathway, because I look at the rest of the slate for Marvel, and there's individual films that I really am interested in, i.e. Blade. Like, but other than that, I'm like looking at it going, I don't know, that could be hit or miss. That, like, Fantastic Four, really worried that Fantastic Four, I don't see how they no one's made it work yet, so how are they going to make it work? You know, Kang is just falling flat on his arse at the moment as a like overarching villain.
He's just been revealed too soon in my he's been revealed way too soon.
I just don't know. I think, like, bringing in the X-Men is needed now, because they will sell. If you get it right, they will sell.
You've got to do Doom. You've got to do Doctor Doom.
Oh, what if Fantastic Four?
And I tell you what could save Marvel, if they bring in Doom in Fantastic Four and he just straight up kills all the Kangs, because I'm the fucking real problem. And then it's all been a red herring all along.
Which that would engross people. That would actually be cool. As far as DC goes, I think you're right. I think it's a one hit. If he fails with Superman, if Superman falls flat on his ass, it could be curtains. I think DC, like, the one good thing about DC is its standalone films are doing well, which means there's always going to be some form of DC floating around. You're always going to get Batman. You're always going to get a Joker. You're always going to get a Superman. But with them being able to create and extended universes. They were too late to the party. They tried to run before they could walk. They messed it up massively. And the problem is they've created such bad feeling amongst the moviegoers. Like, well,
they've split the fan base as well. They've split their fan base.
Like, wait, if I say to you, new DC movie coming out, you just look like you're only as good as the last shit you've done. At the moment, Marvel was like Marvel were on a Guardians of the Galaxy high. Their last fucking film they released was absolutely amazing. Last film that DC released, Blue Beetle, fucking panned. No one went to fucking see it. The Flash before that, absolute fucking epic pile of shit.
And I was excited for the Flash. I was excited for
Aquaman's an interesting one because Aquaman could actually pull people back in, but there is so much controversy looming around that film with fucking, once again, it's not fucking DC's fault that Amber Heard's an absolute twat. A bit like Marvel.
She's throwing shade now as well. She's throwing shade.
Well, of course she is, because they've gone, we don't like you, cut her out of the fucking film.
Well, she's saying that he was pissed all the time.
Of course she fucking would do, wouldn't she? Because she's a fucking horrible, narcissistic bitch. A bit like her and Jada should like fucking, they should.
Get in the bin.
Yeah, they should definitely get in the fucking
together. They can huddle together for warmth on the fucking landfill.
No one's watching that. Paul.
But it'd be interesting. That comes out in December. Aquaman. So it'd be interesting where that goes. But ultimately, yes, it's not part of the larger new project that he's got going on. But it would be a good starting point for the new project. It being the last of the old guard, if you will. If that can do some gangbusters, the last Aquaman film did 1.1 billion. If that could do anywhere close to 700-800 million, it would put it on like early days of the DCU. So it put it on a good standing. Like I say, you're only as good as your last film, so that gives him a good launching pad. I think that still remains to be seen if that will happen.
Yeah, I think, ladies and gents, that puts a cap on that.
Yeah.
Both while we're both wearing caps. Now I've got to put my thinking cap, because TJ is going to hit me with some quiz questions.
Oh, I love this one. I like this quiz. It's the unnamed, unannounced, unready, unfiltered. We've gone on far too long with this podcast quiz. Woo!
Right. Come on then, mate.
So,
fucking hit me with it.
Okay, so the quiz this week, it's movie and TV based potentially.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to give you two actors' names.
Right.
And both of these actors have played the same character.
Okay.
You need to tell me the character.
Fuck. Here we go.
Okay. All right.
At least I haven't got to read the names out.
Okay, so like, do you want me to give you a warm up tester one to just?
Have you got 6?
I've got 6.
You can do this?
I got 6.
Okay, all right. Okay, give me.
Okay, so a nice easy one for you. Michael Fassbender and Sir Ian McKellen.
Oh, they both played Magneto.
Yeah, simple. So it's an easy quiz, right? Easy quiz. Okay, quiz starts now. Okay. Tom Hardy and Topher Grace.
Both played Venom.
I wasn't sure if you'd know who Topher Grace was.
Yeah, I know Topher Grace.
Okay. Mads Mikkelsen and Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, I feel like I do know this.
This is the one that blurs.
Hannibal.
Hannibal Lecter. Well done.
Hannibal.
Well done. So it blurs the lines because it's movie and TV. But easy one for you. Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Yeah. I should have made these fucking harder. Fuck's sake. I got one that you might struggle with. Thomas Jane and Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, The Punisher.
Fuck's sake, I thought if I don't put John Bernthal in there, you might not get that one.
No.
1, 2, 3, that's 4. That's the last one. Fucking hell, this is too easy. I made these too fucking easy. Damn bastard. Okay. Tim Allen and Chris Evans.
Ooh.
I
do know this.
Fuck off. No!
I do know this. Buzz Lightyear.
No, they were both Captain America. Didn't you see the rough cut where Tim Allen, two-time Tim, come out of his shield? Fuck it. I made them far too easy. Fuck's sake, I'm really disappointed in myself now. I was like,
worried
I was
about
like,
that.
Mad Mikkelsen, Anthony Hopkins. He ain't gonna get that. I don't think he's gonna get it. He probably don't even know who Topher Grace is, so that's a fucking winner. Like, if I go Thomas Jane and Dolph Lundgren, I should have gone Ray fucking Stevenson.
You should have gone Ray Stevenson.
Oh,
I might
mate,
have
I
forgot
should have
that
gone
one.
Ray Stevenson and Thomas
Yeah,
Jane.
yeah.
Bollocks.
Yeah, because that would have really thrown me. But when you said
Oh.
Dolph, I was like, oh, I know the Punisher. I remember these.
Should have gone fucking Ray Stevenson. What a dickhead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed the. I'll be honest. I enjoyed the quiz though. I enjoyed the quiz.
Yeah, fuck
I
you.
did enjoy that. Gives me ideas for my quiz in the future.
Oh. All right, well, that was over quick.
Yeah,
There we go.
Right now, I did ask you if you're okay with this. I
Oh,
wasn't
shit,
sure.
do you know what? I haven't even fucking read the question. Yeah, go on then. I could do this. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll do this one.
okay.
Yeah.
Chris P. Bacon wrote in.
Oh, mate, it's nearly 5 a.m. What the fuck? What, Chris P? Oh, mate. Oh, no. Right, whatever, Chris. Come on, Chris.
Wrote in with an important question for discussion. The question is, if you could invite 3 people to dinner, living or dead, who would you invite?
You go first.
Okay. I think, cause I'll be honest, I put this question up, I didn't think of any answers. Who would I go for? I was going to go Winston Churchill, but that might get a bit nasty after a couple of fucking British
Oh,
beers.
see, boring.
It'd be great. You'd be pissed off.
Oh.
I tell you where I should have went for, instead of living or dead, be fictional or non-fictional characters.
That's.
Yeah, that would be much better.
Okay. Yeah,
Of course,
no.
you'd have
Okay.
just had Batman, and Batman.
Batman this era, Batman that era, and Batman that era. Let them fight it out and find out who's the best Batman.
66 Batman. Keaton
Fucking
Batman.
Adam West. Fuck off, Adam West. Pow! Bang!
Wow.
Wallop.
I'd probably take Kevin Smith because
Yeah, cool.
he's
That's
amazing.
cool. I like that. I like that.
Dave Grohl. I think that'd be fucking good.
Mate.
And who else could I go for? I'd probably want Seth MacFarlane because I find Seth MacFarlane interesting as fuck.
Okay, yeah, cool. Okay.
So that's where I'd go. Kev, the other one that I said.
Mate, you don't even know you've invited Dave Grohl, mate. It's a good
Dave
job
Grohl,
I
that
missed.
was
It's a good fucking
I was
job I
trying to
missed.
sit there as like going,
Dave
who the
Grohl,
fuck did I
Kevin
say
Smith, and fucking the other one.
Yeah. Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. Oh.
Come on, who are you going to
Okay.
give me, mate? Who you
Okay,
gonna
I would go first and foremost. I'd go Jack Black, just so that I could
Cool.
prove to people that we're not the same person.
give? And then you go, fucking hell, we look the same.
Some people legit come into my stream and say, "Fucking oh, you look like Jack Black." I'm like, "Fuck off." I mean, I'm happy. I'll take it, but like, he looks.
Take his money.
It's just the graying in the beard. I tell you, that's what it is. It's the graying in
You've
the
got
beard.
that sort of. If your beard was sort of further out, you'd really start to look like you've got his beard. But you from the sides like I do. So
Yeah, I have to pull it in. Yeah. Jack Black, 100%. Jack Black would be the comedy, would be the
Oh, he'd be
brilliance,
brilliant.
would be the musical entertainment. He'd be everything. So it'd be Jack Black. I would probably go with. Like Beckham. Like as I say, Beckham, like idol for me growing up. And I still think he's just a fascinating guy to talk to with everything that's like, the documentaries kind of brought that back to my like purview, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go Beckham, Jack Black. And, who else would I have?
Hard for that third one, isn't it? It's like, wow.
Probably someone like who I find fascinating, like maybe someone like Steven Spielberg.
Oh, that'd be fucking interesting.
I'd love to fucking pick his brain,
Yeah.
because the
And
guys
he's
are.
Hannibal.
I'm not fucking Hannibal Lecter over it, jeez. Like I find the guy fascinating. Like the guy's a fucking genius. Like
Yes.
you get like when people talk about geniuses, it's normally like because they're like Mensa or something like, but no, legit genius in his field.
Yes. Yeah, because he's been a filmmaker since toddler.
Yeah, well, just think of all the epic shit that he's done. He does not even just what he's directed, but what he's been a part of. Like
Stories he could tell.
yeah,
he
he's
designed
fascinating.
fucking Universal theme park.
Oh really?
Love
And I see. I didn't
it.
even. I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, just for a, like a dinner party. Like, imagine the like maybe David Beckham isn't like the most, but like the stories
Alright.
you'd get off of Jack
That's
Black.
squeaky voice.
It's not as squeaky as what he was. That gets brought up in the documentary. No, I think like Jack Black, the stories, the like I say, the
Yeah.
entertainment value from him. Like David Beckham is like idol level material. He'd probably be the one that I'd be like, oh my fucking god, it's David Beckham, probably more than the other two. But and just to Steven Spielberg, like idol. I always like growing up. I always had this thing. It's like I'd love to be. You know when they say like, what you want to be when you're older, and like people like football and that. Like director was legit one of my answers. I'd love to be a director. Never wanted to be an actor. Wanted to be a director. Wanted to be the person behind the camera.
I think I've only ever wanted to be an actor since like a couple of years back. It wasn't possible, but like it's something that I could have looked into when I was younger, and I just never did.
Yeah.
And now that I've done a bit of it, I'm like, oh man, I got bit by the bug.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
I'm just like, yeah, I definitely, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Thanks,
what I'd go
man.
with. Like Jack Black, David Beckham, Steven Spielberg. I think
Yeah, good
that,
call.
that's
Good
my
call.
three. That's my three. The other one who I'd love, but I have other reasons why. I have one, sorry, that's a little bit outside that, like Chester
Oh,
Bennington.
yeah.
I'd be like, just for the fact that I'd like to, like, I don't know, just something in my head was like, we've lost someone massive, and it'd
Mhm.
like, why? What could people have done differently? Like those kind of things. Like, you know, I think about it sometimes. Like, is there a way we could have saved certain people?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the right person was there at the right time in their life, like, you know. But
Yeah, I mean, like it. Not. I'm sure he did have some sort of support.
oh, 100%. Wife that loved him, you know, kids, like the bad, like he was adored by many, but obviously the demons are real and they're that difficult, like to deal with sometimes. And you know, I have a hard thing with suicide because I don't believe like it's ever a real way out. I think you leave more pain than what.
Yeah.
You're just transferring your pain
Yeah, you
onto
transfer your
someone,
pain.
well, multiple other people essentially. But yeah, that's like, but that's more of a, that would probably more of a one-on-one dinner. That's not a dinner party. So, Chester, why'd you kill yourself, dude? Like, that's not really a great fucking dinner party conversation, is it? So we'll stick with Jack Black, David Beckham, and Steven Spielberg.
I suppose if I had to go down that line, probably Robin Williams,
Oh
Probably Robin
yeah,
Williams.
that would have been cool.
because like he was life and soul, and he still did what he did.
Yeah.
And you just think like,
There's
man, you were-
there's reasons that we'll never understand.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it.
you just have to like be appreciative of what they
Yeah.
what they left us, which is
Yeah.
their body of work, which is fucking phenomenal.
Sorry guys, we're ending this podcast on a bit of a down note on that, but we hope you had some funs and some chats with us in the meanwhile.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, me and TJ are going to go and
Go to
pull
bed.
our plonk to the porn.
No, I'm
that
going
we're
to
gonna go
fucking
and
bed,
watch.
mate. You can go and do whatever you want. Thanks for that image. Just before I go to sleep, fucking my dreams are going to be nightmares.
Just a bit of audio cue for you. Right, so as always, you can. You put the bright for me on. Oh, sorry, I just noticed that. You can catch us obviously over on the YouTubes, on the Spotify's, on the anywhere you find podcast. Don't forget to check out our Instagram, my Twitch, TJ's Twitch. He goes on Monday. I'm on Tuesday. He's on Wednesday. I'm on Thursday. He's on Friday. I'm on at some point in the weekend. Sometimes TJ's on.
Very rarely.
But we're all on from about 8 o'clock. TJ's more on time than I am. I'm late by nature. Of course, if you want to email us, it is the unfilteredidiots@gmail. So don't forget to throw your questions up to us if you want us to any sort of questions in the pod. We do read them all, and we will try and get them all on the pod. Yeah. Right, kids? I think that's it, Teach. We've been a long one. So
Yeah,
we're going to have to say goodbye because my wife's about to murder me. I don't want any of you
See
to
you
see
later, everyone.
Bye-bye, kids.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.